Welcome to the deep dive. We're looking at something pretty astonishing in the media world today.
Yeah, the case of Olivia Nuzzi. It's a real head-scratcher in some ways.
It really is. We're talking about professional reputation, power, accountability, and how flexible accountability can be when big names are involved.
It's a fascinating situation, analytically speaking. We've got sources talking about this journalist who just, a few months back?
Yeah, late 2024.
Right, was right in the middle of this huge ethics scandal. And now, boom, she's landed this major editorial job at Vanity Fair.
So our mission here really is to get past the sort of surface level chatter. We need to dig into the how and the why of this comeback. It happens so fast.
Exactly. Is it, genuine redemption? Is it favoritism? Or maybe something deeper about how media institutions handle these things?
Or perhaps how they want us to think about these things. Testing public memory, maybe.
That's definitely a question on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, the contrast is just stark. Look at the timeline.
It really is. Disgraced, basically vanished from public view. And now she's the new West Coast editor at Vanity Fair. That's not a small role.
No way. That's a position with real clout. Overseeing stories on culture, tech, Hollywood. Shaping the narrative out on the Pacific Coast.
So yeah, to really get the comeback, you have to understand just how far she fell first.
Let's start there then. The fall. It played out very publicly, late 2024. She was, everyone knew her as this sharp political reporter.
Right, covering RFK Jr.'s presidential campaign very closely.
And that's where the trouble started.
Yeah.
Our sources point to this ethical breach, a pretty clear conflict of interest.
They describe it as an intimate digital connection or a personal relationship.
That's the language used, yes.
Yeah.
Developing that kind of connection with Kennedy while she was actively assigned to report on him.
Which is, journalism 101, right? You maintain professional distance.
It's fundamental. But the absolute crucial part, the part that triggered everything,
Was that it was undisclosed.
Exactly. She didn't tell her editors, didn't tell the readers. That failure to disclose is the cardinal sin here.
And her employer at the time, they reacted swiftly.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Put her on leave, launched an inquiry. They cited that failure to inform them as the core issue. And the fallout wasn't just professional, was it? It got personal. Very messy.
Yeah, the sources detail that. Her engagement to another journalist fell apart because of it.
Right, and things got even more complicated. There was that temporary restraining order she filed against her ex.
Accusing him of blackmail related to the situation, which she later withdrew, but it just shows the level of turmoil.
Total upheaval. Professional life on hold, personal life imploding publicly. You see that? And the normal assumption is, career over. Or at least significantly derailed for a long, long time.
Yeah, you don't usually bounce back from that overnight.
But here's where we need to get into the specifics of the ethical argument, because there's a nuance that Vanity Fair seems to be leaning on.
Okay.
So later on, a third-party inquiry looked into her published work on Kennedy. Their finding was that the articles themselves were factually accurate. No clear bias detected in the final text.
Okay, but wait. If the articles were okay factually then, why the huge outcry? Why did critics still say it was a massive ethical failure? Isn't factual accuracy the main goal?
That's the crux of the debate. And critics, I think, rightly said that finding almost missed the point.
How so?
Because journalism isn't just about getting facts right in the copy. It's built on a foundation of trust. The ethical rule isn't just be accurate, it's be transparent about anything that could compromise your independence.
I see. The potential for bias, even if it wasn't obvious in the final product.
Precisely. By not disclosing that personal relationship, she compromised her own standing, her editor's ability to manage the situation, and the publication's credibility with its readers.
Yeah.
The act of hiding it was the betrayal of trust. It didn't matter if the final article seemed clean. The process was tainted.
Okay, that makes sense. That's the line she crossed, that fundamental trust boundary.
And that's the context for what happened next. She basically disappeared for months.
Right, total radio silence. Lots of speculation she'd be blacklisted, maybe pivot to PR, something completely outside journalism.
And then, out of nowhere, this Vanity Fair announcement.
Yeah, described as a sweeping hiring announcement in the sources. And not just a job, but the job, West Coast editor. It's a huge leap. Monumental, really, given where she was just months before.
Vanity Fair carries so much weight. Culturally, it shapes conversations, putting her in charge of major stories, film, tech, powerful people. That's a massive vote of confidence. or something else.
Which brings us right back to that central question. Why? Why would a magazine like Vanity Fair, knowing the controversy this would ignite, give her such a powerful, visible role?
Especially a role that involves editorial judgment, being a gatekeeper, when the scandal was about, well, a failure of judgment and disclosure.
Let's look at what Vanity Fair actually said. Their official line focuses squarely on her talent.
Right. The leadership talked about hiring people with substance and style. They praised her fearlessness, called her a brand new asset. They're basically trying to frame the scandal as maybe a side effect of that fearlessness,
Yeah.
part of her edgy style. It's an attempt to reposition the narrative around talent above all else.
But does that really fly? Especially with other journalists. Calling recklessness fearlessness feels a bit like, well, PR spin.
And that's exactly how many critics reacted. Deep cynicism. People immediately pointed out the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Ethical breaches like this, conflicts of interest leading to formal inquiries. Usually that means years in the wilderness, right? If you even get back into a top publication at all.
So the speed, the prominence, it's almost unheard of.
Virtually.
Yeah.
Which leads to the idea that this might be about more than just one talented, if controversial, writer.
This is where those insider whispers come in, the ones we're seeing mentioned.
Yes. Multiple sources suggest a theory is going around that this isn't just a hire, it's a statement. That she's being positioned as proof that scandals can be survived.
Proof.
Yeah, and that powerful organizations like Vanity Fair can essentially shape public memory. Like they're
Yeah.
deliberately testing the waters.
Wow. Okay, if that theory holds, that this is a calculated move to, normalize bouncing back from ethical scandals, how does that square with the actual ethical breach? Are we saying media figures are like celebrities now, just needing image rehab?
That's the worrying implication, isn't it? If a major player like Vanity Fair can absorb this kind of recent high-profile scandal and essentially declare it over by making such a prominent hire,
It sends a message.
a powerful one, that maybe talent, connections, and institutional backing now trump accountability for certain ethical lines. They're betting their own prestige can effectively sanitize her reputation.
And in doing so, maybe lowering the bar for everyone else at that level?
Potentially, yes.
Mm.
It definitely changes the conversation about accountability right now. She's now an editorial gatekeeper, making decisions about other people's stories and narratives.
Right. The person accused of hiding a crucial relationship is now deciding what gets told and how.
That's the dissonance. For the audience who followed the scandal, who understood the breach of trust,
It puts her under intense scrutiny going forward, surely. Every move she makes, every story Vanity Fair runs under her watch.
absolutely. The future watch is critical here.
Yeah.
Will she oversee stories about people she has past connections with? Can she maintain that objective distance that was missing before?
People will be looking for any hint of bias, any echo of the past controversy.
It's inevitable. If Vanity Fair publishes a piece on, say, political ethics or media accountability under her editorship,
Oof. Yeah, the irony wouldn't be lost. Readers will immediately connect it back to her own history. That trust is so fragile once it's broken.
and Vanity Fair knew this. They made a calculation. Her talent, her name recognition, her cachet, they decided it was worth the baggage.
Which says a lot about what the industry, or at least parts of it, values most right now. Maybe it suggests the rules are different for certain people.
It certainly looks that way in this case.
So when you step back, this whole situation, this deep dive, it's clearly about more than just office politics or media gossip.
Oh, absolutely. It hits on these fundamental things: ethics, power, redemption narratives, and that whole scandal's leave in public trust.
And the big question hanging over it all is, can this kind of second life in the media spotlight ever truly escape the shadow of the first, especially when the second life is this prominent?
It's a test case, in a way. We're watching a major institution give someone a second chance incredibly quickly after a very public failure. The speed and the level of the comeback are what make this so significant. It tells us something about the rules of the game right now.
So as we watch this unfold, what's the key thing you think listeners should keep in mind? The final thought to chew on.
I think you need to consider what this specific comeback, how fast it was, how high profile it is. What does it really signal about the actual threshold for ethical breaches at the top of journalism today? Does this speed suggest that maybe professional cachet and a certain kind of star power now genuinely outweigh a serious conflict of interest violation? The willingness of an institution like Vanity Fair to make this move so soon? That might be the clearest sign of where the industry's real values lie when it comes to accountability.